Welcome to yet another episode of Situation Today with Gulf Business, where we delve into the business conversations that are shaping the region today. I'm your host, Neesha Salian, and with me today is a very exciting guest, Vishen Lakhiani, the founder of Mindvalley, a global leader in personal development and transformation. Vishen is an extremely interesting person. He's had a transformational journey himself, and he has been enhancing how we view personal development and transformation. And he's here today to share insights on personal growth, Buddha and the Badass, and Future Human. Welcome to our studios.
Thank you, Neesha. It's an honor to be here.
Okay. Vishen, just to kick off, if you can tell us a little, it's really exciting to have you here. You've done so much in personal development. But if you could tell us a little bit about your journey and how this kicked off and what led you to found Mindvalley.
Well, I think what's more important, because I want to make sure that I'm delivering value to the audience, I don't think my journey is important. I think my mission is what is more relevant. Mm-hmm. What I'm seeking to do is to help human beings become the best version of themselves. Mm-hmm. I don't believe our education systems do that in any good way. In fact, they often keep us limited by keeping human beings bound by traditional understandings, ideas, rule books of how to run life. I'm interested in creating superhumans. I'm interested in creating human beings who can live longer, be healthier, master their mind, master their spirit, and can be highly productive in the world. In other words, they are disrupting, they're building industries, they're creating startups, they're doing good for the world, and they're doing it without breaking down, through a state of absolute inner mastery, where they wake up every day excited, thrilled to jump into work. They're deeply connected with the people around them, and collectively, these human beings are elevating society. This is what Mindvalley seeks to do. We are aiming to be the #1 human transformation platform in the world.
Your app is a very important tool in this journey.
Right.
So if you could tell us a little more about how the Mindvalley app is making a difference in people's lives.
Well, the app is getting more and more advanced every single month, especially right now because of AI. But this is what the app does. You can go on the Mindvalley app and you can decide how you want to improve your life. Maybe you're looking to improve your energy. Maybe you want to sleep better. Maybe you are going through a divorce and the stress of that is just really dragging you down. Maybe you're seeking to scale your business to 1 million or 100 million. On the app, we have incredible lessons, ideas from the world's greatest teachers in these subjects. For example, let's say you're looking to scale your business to 100 million. We have a program called 0 to 100 by Miki Agrawal, who has built $300 million companies. So you obviously know she has a methodology. She has a model. And 20 minutes a day for 28 days, she teaches you step by step by step how to think like an unconventional entrepreneur. Or perhaps you're looking to extend your lifespan and live longer. We have a program called the Longevity Blueprint with one of America's greatest fitness trainers, Ben Greenfield, that over 28 days will teach you how to absolutely master your body and add years to your life. Mm-hmm. The app is designed to transform you in 20 minutes a day, no matter what your goal is. And the app just got recognized by Apple. So we're now in Apple stores globally. If you pick up an iPhone 16 or the new iPad in any Apple store, including in Dubai Mall, it's pre-installed as a demo app because Apple was so impressed by the vision and how we were bringing together, music and design and AI and aesthetics to create this transformational idea.
Well, congratulations on that's a great milestone. I think one of the key things that I've seen with how Mindvalley works is you partner with really great teachers and great leaders. If you could tell me a little bit about that, because I think it's key to what I've seen in the way you've been reaching out to people and making a difference in people's lives. So if you could tell us a little more.
So firstly, a lot of respect for teachers. My mom is a public school teacher from Malaysia, right? So a lot of great respect for teachers. My teachers when I was a kid shaped my life, but my teachers shaped my life not because they were teaching me history or geography. Rather, it was accidental lessons of wisdom that came out, right? I remember a fitness teacher encouraging me to study martial arts. That changed my life. I remember a geography teacher telling me, Vishen, you can apply anything you put your mind to. You are going to be super wealthy if you just apply your mind the same way you're able to memorize page for page the geography books. It was the wisdom. It wasn't the amount of rainfall in Kenya. Wisdom is what changes lives. But wisdom, for most of us, is accidental. We're lucky to stumble upon it. So there's a theory in transformation, right? There's a difference between knowledge and transformation. Schools are built for knowledge. Knowledge, in the words of Calvin Coolidge, build workers that can be cogs in the wheels of industry. But wisdom builds really epic human beings. But wisdom is accidental, rare, and you're lucky to stumble upon it. Maybe you read an autobiography and something clicks. Maybe you stumble upon a great mentor. Maybe you're listening to a podcast. We're interested in wisdom, not knowledge. In today's world, knowledge is a commodity. Anybody can get on ChatGPT and grab any knowledge they want. But wisdom is when a teacher takes you bit by bit by bit and layers on top of you two things: new beliefs and identities of how you approach the world, beliefs that expand your awareness, and new habits and protocols that stick to you. Now, when you do that well, beliefs such as, hard work does not correspond to success, smart work does. Or beliefs such as, I'm going to invest every day in making my marriage better because that is so important for my heart and soul. These are beliefs, powerful beliefs. When you are able to layer on these beliefs and then apply the habits to act out these beliefs, a habit like that, could be, for example, doing something every day to delight your partner. When you're able to do that, your mind expands, your awareness of self expands. And this is when transformation happens. Transformation is when the mind expands to take on a greater understanding of the world, and that expansion is irreversible. Now, knowledge is when something goes in your head. It typically will stay for about 24 hours, and then you forget it. Do you know if you read a book, you will forget 80% in 24 hours? Knowledge is a pass-through, but transformation is what really shapes it. But if you look at our schools, there's so much more focus on knowledge rather than transformation. So what we seek to do at Mindvalley is find the greatest teachers who are transformational architects, whether it is transforming ourselves to be able to tap into intuition, transforming ourselves to be able to master our fitness, maybe transforming ourselves as a leader, as an entrepreneur, transforming ourselves as a parent, and then to be able to guide the user bit by bit by bit for these transformations, slowly layering on new beliefs, new habits. Every single day, you become better. And there's a compounding effect to that. So can you guess, if you got better by 1% every day, how much better would you be at the end of a year? You'll be 37 times better.
Okay.
Right? It compounds. And that's what we truly care about.
That's very relevant. And I think the Future Human, the summit that you have in Jan, is again a celebration of all of that. Right. I mean, if you could tell us a little about it.
So Future Human is designed to look at what are the most important skills we need to thrive in 2025. Okay? And it's not what you think. It's not what people think. So we pick 3 topics and we go super deep. The first day of Future Human, and Future Human is a big event happening with some of the world's most incredible teachers. I curated them all myself. We're bringing them to the Dubai Expo Center. Day 1 is all about hyperproductivity and the brain. The way we have to think about work has to change today. Mark my words, in 18 months, 50% of all white-collar jobs are going to disappear. In 18 months. Jamie Dimon just said today that the next generation of workers will only be asked to work 3.5 days a week. I made the same prediction 2 years ago because of how rapidly work is disappearing. In our company, yesterday, for example, we implemented a new AI tool that just eliminated 20 jobs in our company in one day. That was 5% of our workforce. It is accelerating and accelerating and accelerating. Now, these jobs are not going to disappear because most companies are slow to adopt these changes. But the jobs will become irrelevant. As I said, they don't have to be done by humans. But when the founders and CEOs and management team catch up, that'll take another 3 to 5 years. But if you can catch up sooner, here's what you can do. Number 1, you can increase revenue per employee significantly. Last year, we increased revenue per employee by 40% in 12 months through the use of AI. Number 2, you can actually pay your employees the same. You don't have to lay off anyone. You can ask them, you know what? You only have to work for me 3 days a week. But you got to understand that. So day 1 of Future Human is designed to give you those tools. And by the way, the tools are not just AI. I know everyone is being beaten over the head by AI. The tools are also new molecular compounds that change the way your brain functions. For example, I was just taking a cup of coffee, right? To keep me alert for this interview. As exciting as the entire thing is. But coffee causes jitters. You can't take coffee after 5 p.m. It's going to affect your sleep. But have you heard of paraxanthine? Paraxanthine is coffee 2.0. It's a new molecular compound that has the benefits of caffeine with the jitters and the sleepless nights removed from that molecule. You take a paraxanthine pill combined with alpha GPC, your focus level goes up without prescription drugs. And a lot of people are able to get so much work done. So I optimize my day. I save hours because of AI, but I save another 45 minutes a day by taking alpha GPC and paraxanthine. These things, when you combine them, and all of this is cutting edge science, when you combine these things, you're able to get so much more work done in a given day. And then there are principles of how you work. I just came back from Singularity University. Well, actually not just, but 5 years ago. I was in a room with Ray Kurzweil, with Larry Page, and we were learning about a concept called OODA loops, which is how to make rapid decision cycles as founders so you can out-innovate your competition. We'll be discussing ideas like OODA loops as well. So day one makes you a better entrepreneur and founder and businessman. Day two gets even more interesting. It's about longevity. There are pills being developed that will require you to never go to a gym again because it suppresses that part of your body that restricts muscle growth. Pop this pill, work out once or twice every 6 months, and boom, you get jacked, right? Old people who are going through sarcopenia, losing 1% of their muscle every year, you can reverse that right now, even without a pill, just with the right exercise in the gym. Can you guess how many hours it takes a man over 50 to reverse sarcopenia? Same applies to a woman. Per year, how many hours of exercise per year?
Per year, my math is really bad.
You can take a guess.
About 100, 150?
It takes 1 hour. 1 hour a year.
1 hour a year?
To completely reverse sarcopenia if you do the right exercise.
Right.
Okay, so again, all of this sounds crazy, but this is what I mean by wisdom. I go out there, I find the best the best fitness teachers who are using the best models based on the best and latest science, combined with not just the workout protocol, but the supplementation protocol, the mindset protocol. And that's how we're able to create such boosts in transformation so rapidly. So day two is all about longevity, how to add 10 years to your life. You leave with new ways to optimize your mind, your body, and your soul, because health is not just body. It's not just pushing it in the gym. It's the understanding of your body that's taking place in your mind. It's called the placebo effect, and it influences your healing rate. And this brings us to day three, where you learn what I believe is one of the most important tools, manifesting. It's not woo-woo anymore. It's how our brain and our soul, depending on what your spiritual belief is able to get your reality to match the reality in your head. And there's a way to do that much faster than you think, which means you hit your business goals faster. You slow down aging. You achieve that peak relationship that you're looking for. You have a life of your dreams much faster than before. That's what Future Human is about.
Okay. Well, we look forward to attending, and our listeners as well. I think they can get more information on the website.
Mindvalley.com/futurehuman.
All right. Well, coming to another very important approach that you use, the Buddha and the Badass. If you could share a little more about it and how it can impact entrepreneurs, regular people.
Right.
Well,
firstly, the Buddha and the Badass is a book I wrote. It's a series of 9 essays that look at, and you can read them in any order, that look at how you can transform work by infusing spirituality with your work. Okay, so it looks at hyper-productive new tools for work combined with spirit. This is the Buddha and the Badass. The Buddha and the Badass is an archetype. The book of the same name represents that archetype. You see, in today's world, they are people who are all about the Buddha. They're all about spirituality and going within. Nothing wrong with that. But that is a waste if you're not actually getting off your yoga mat and doing something to make the world better. And doing something to make the world better means having a productive job. Even better, starting a business, creating a product, writing a book, inventing something. That can make a mark on humanity. You don't have to do it, but it's important to not just go within, but to also look at how can you elevate the rest of society. That is what we mean by the badass, the disruptor, the creator, the builder. But if you're the badass alone without mastery of your spiritual core, you can face burnout, stress, bad health, crazy long work hours, inability to sleep. You age faster. And that's a shame. We don't want badasses aging faster and dying younger. When you combine both, you have the Mindvalley archetype. the Buddha badass. This are the type of human beings I seek to create.
In terms of, again, we talked about biohacking, reversing aging. Longevity is a very important thing. I mean, everybody wants to live longer, live better, be more productive. What are your tips? I know we could go through Mindvalley, but what has worked for you so far? I think you talk about it quite a bit. If you could tell our listeners.
For longevity?
Yes, longevity as well as productivity.
Okay.
I know it's
Right.
been peppered through the conversation so far.
So I'll give you a couple of things. Let's break it down. Which would you like me to cover first?
Longevity.
Okay, longevity. Most important thing for longevity, the single most important thing, is a meditation practice. Okay, now a lot of people think, oh God, he said meditation, it's so boring. Yes, meditation is absolutely boring, because I'm not talking about hermetic meditation, which I find ridiculously burdensome and boring, and I don't really do. I'm talking about science-based meditation protocols, such as the 6-phase meditation, which is another book I wrote. The 6-phase meditation looks at 6 simple mental protocols you run in your head that actually are scientifically proven to transform your health and the way you show up in the world. And that is compassion, gratitude, forgiveness, vision for the future, segment intending, and then prayer. Okay? 6, stacked in a specific way, done in a specific way. No matter what way you do it, you're going to see benefits, but when you do it in this specific order, you see remarkable benefits. And so that's number 1. Now, the reason that's number 1 is because that doesn't just give you peace of mind. It improves your relationship with all the people around you. It's very rooted in the idea that we are not a species that is meant to be singular. We are a species that's meant to operate as a society. If human beings were insects, for lack of a better word, we would be ants, not spiders. We are not lone wolves. We are part of a larger whole. 6-phase is designed to have you master yourself and get you deeply connected with other people. And then also to create meaning in your life. Now, these 3 things, so you're getting peace, you're getting connection, you're getting meaning, and you're getting a boost of like energy, probably will have the biggest correlation on longevity. By the way, all the Blue Zone studies, the thing that causes people to live longer, you know what it is?
I think community.
It's community, right?
Yes.
So the 6-phase creates that. It makes you a more compassionate, loving, kinder person. It gives you greater emotional mastery, which means you relate to people better. Now, number 2 is high intensity interval training, strength training. So musculature of all the different biomarkers has the highest correlation with longevity. It is the amount of muscles that you have on your body. But many people, especially women, don't do that. We did a study. 87% of American women are exercising wrong and inefficiently. They are doing aerobics. They're running on a treadmill. No, if you're doing this too much and you're not building muscle, you lose your musculature. And what happens is this actually causes you to age worse. When you build muscle, which means lifting weights, typically in a slow motion, in a specific way, to count 2 seconds up, 3 seconds down, what you're doing is you're optimizing muscle growth. And of course, you want to supplement this with, good protein intake, creatine, protein. And what happens is that you have an incredible increase in your lifespan. This is a direct correlation. Musculature correlates with living longer. And also you feel good, you look great. Now, number 3 is a daily learning practice. So this could be 20 minutes a day. 20 minutes a day, you are learning to up-level in your job. You are listening to podcasts. You're listening to the Mindvalley app. You're reading a book. It doesn't matter what, but just learning rather than staying on the hamster wheel. If you're constantly on the hamster wheel, what happens is that you get really bored, you get burnt out. If you're learning, what happens is that you start getting new ideas, new things you want to create in the world, new ways to up-level. This creates a sense of mission. And when you increase one's orientation to a mission, their ability to work even in their older years increases and their lifespan increases. There's a direct correlation between having a mission and living longer, right? But you don't just find your mission. You learn your way into your mission. So these 3 habits, meditation practice, 17 minutes a day, high intensity interval training, this is twice a week for 30 minutes each. So we are looking at an average of 9 minutes a day. And then learning 20 minutes a day. Everything I just said takes approximately 45 minutes a day. And you completely transform your life.
I think That's the key thing. I think transformation begins first with that
Right.
intention as well. One of the things that I've seen here, especially in the city we live in, with traffic and things like that, and everybody's very stressed. How do you find that work-life balance? I know we could use a lot of what you
Right.
said. Is there a way to start? 3 tips, without going into greater detail, or what you can do to make that first
Oh yeah,
step.
this is such a beautiful question, and I want to say this concept of the work-life balance right now is impacting women more negatively than it's impacting men, and I'm happy to go into the reason why. Okay, so the 3 practices I said will already improve the way you function at work, which means stress goes down for 2 reasons. Number 1, practicing the 6-phase meditation and the protocols within it. They basically give you greater emotional mastery, which means you're less likely to get triggered. You're less likely to feel stressed out when, say, something goes wrong. So that itself reduces stress. Now, high-intensity interval training doesn't just improve your musculature, it increases your endurance. Roughly, science says just from doing weight training, you see a 30% increase in endurance, which means more energy. And what also happens is that it lowers body fat. A study by Dr. Daniel Amen in around 2021 showed that for every extra unnecessary fat you carry, it slows down your brain cognition. And when your brain cognition goes down, stress goes up because you aren't solving problems in the most effective way. So you get stuck more, and stuckness increases stress. And then the third thing, constant learning that I mentioned, that of course makes you better and better at your job, which means excitement goes up, stress goes down. Okay, so that's good. But there's one more thing you got to do, and that is have blocked out time for rest and relaxation. So I was talking to a friend of mine recently who has work in Dubai, but also has clients in the US. So every night she has to be on phone calls. And she was telling me that things were getting tough. So I said, listen, you got to do this. Firstly, you got to set a clear bedtime hour, say midnight. So from midnight to 8 a.m., it's sleep time. Okay? As a woman, 8 hours. Men, around 7.5 hours of sleep, roughly. That's what we need to stay really, really productive. If you find that you're waking up before 8 hours, that's good. It means your body has adapted, but around 8 hours. And so I told her, you want to be able to, if you're taking 3 hours of calls at night, ensure you block off your time. You don't take any calls after midnight. And then you're working in the morning, but give yourself, say, 3 p.m., and you work at 3 p.m. because you're putting in 3 hours at night. 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. has to be your me time. You learn, you go to the gym, you hang out with friends, you go shopping, whatever it takes. Watch TV for all I care, surf social media, but downtime. So I am very measured about the hours allocated to work. And don't get me wrong, I love my work. But by giving myself that downtime, when I go into my work, I'm so energized. I've given my brain a rest. Now, this downtime comes in different ways for men and women. For men, what happens is that you get that downtime if you're actually sitting in front of the TV and just, enjoying some food, some pizza, whatever you like, and watching television. It actually gives you a chance to rest, and it causes your testosterone to go up. And when a man's testosterone goes up, he's more productive at work. But men need that downtime. Women get it in a different way. For men, it's often we want to be by ourselves. With women, they want to be around community, other women, having conversations, speaking, reflecting. And so the way you get that downtime is so important. I mean, today you can technically get some of it if you're just having a WhatsApp conversation with someone, right? But it's so important to block off these hours. And when you can do that, you create work-life balance and you eradicate stress.
Because there's a lot of stuff that's going about, digital declutter, keep your phones away, rest and stuff. So
there is some utility in that, but honestly, I think it's overhyped.
Okay.
I mean, we're integrated with technology. I have technology embedded in my body.
I'm sure, literally. But what the world's in a crazy place right now. A lot of things going on, people trying to make sense of whatever that's happening. What would your vision be for an ideal world, or a world that's where everybody is happier? How would you see the world in if I give you the chance to see your God for a couple of minutes? What would you like to see the world?
Well, human beings are highly, highly, highly resilient. And if you read Steven Pinker's work, for example, you'll see that our world is getting better at a rapid pace. We tend to suffer from a concept called progressive phobia. We have a fear of progress. but progress is moving us forward in a really remarkable way. Now, this is what is going to happen by 2030. By 2030, we're going to see these things in the world. Now, number one, work hours are going to plummet. We're going to be looking at 3-day work weeks. Now, this itself is going to have a massive impact on the world. What's going to happen is that we're going to forget this obsessive, idiotic idea that a country's success is solely dependent on GDP per capita. Yes, you want to increase one's ability, your population's ability to be happy, to be able to have access to goods, to services, to products, but GDP per capita is insanity, right? And so what's going to happen is we're going to start seeing a world where people will be working 3 days a week, 4 days a week. You have rest, you have relaxation, you have time for family, time to play with your kids, time to go for concerts, time to appreciate music, time to read, time to build, time to create things, time to improve yourself. This is going to be huge. We're going to, as a result, simply because of the time for more meditation, more health, human health is going to accelerate. We're going to start seeing people living well over 100. And this brings us to the second change, longevity. So there's a concept called longevity velocity. And it means that if you can live long enough, you can live to 1,000. And the reason for that is because science is getting so much better and better and better at eradicating the things that kill us, right? So cancer, heart disease, these things are being eradicated at a strikingly rapid rate. And so as we have more time to invest in our health and we increase our lifespans, many of us are going to live to that moment when science is suddenly be able to come in and go, all right, cancer, no longer an issue. Just like smallpox is really no longer an issue in many parts of the world. This is going to cause us to start looking at human lifespans which are much, 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 much longer. Now, the third change that's going to happen is that we are probably going to be so abundant. I mean, look, the cell phone that I'm carrying right now, okay? You go back to 1990, and instead of this cell phone, which costs about $1,000 US, I would need to buy a handy cam, I would need to buy a Walkman, I would need to buy a TV, I would need to buy thousands of books, I would need to buy cassettes. All of that right now is dematerialized into a single device. This is going to happen faster and faster and faster. So our ability to do amazing things, to be able to watch, to perceive, is all going to transform. All of these things are going to make us more abundant, though we have to measure abundance in a different way. And what this means is that we are really heading into a golden age of humanity, and we should all be excited about that. This greater abundance, by the way, will also mean less wars.
Well, I think that's the kind of optimism we all need to have and to hear about. But I'd like
But the thing is, though, it's not optimism. It's data, it's science.
Yeah.
I mean, you can look at these trend lines and you will see them increasing. No matter what Trump says, crime in America has been going down for the last 3 decades. Okay? Crime is going down. Health spans. Now, in America, health spans have gone down. So that we need to fix, right? But in many other parts of the world, our lifespans are going up.
Okay. Well, I still see that as optimism. I see that as a reality.
Right.
And we hope to have you with us on a future podcast to discuss how things are turning out to be. But thank you so much for dropping in. And lots of luck with Future Human. We hope to see a lot of our listeners there as well. For any more details, you can go to Mindvalley and find out more about Future Human. For other news, join us on gulfbusiness.com, read our magazines. Thank you so much for joining us today.